Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the I Need a Magic show. In this video I have a seriously kick-ass treat for you guys. You see, here I am inside of the iNeedle.io cloudlet. If I now click manage, I click machine learning, and then I click training data, and then I filter on magic documentation. Here now, there's a new button in the top right corner here, add function beta. I need to emphasize this is a beta feature. It might change in future releases, so if you use it on your own risk. However, if I now click this button, you will see what happens is that it actually lists every single Hyperlambda workflow I happen to have in this particular cloudlet. You need to be a little bit careful if you install plugins, because there are some workflows that really should not be used with AI functions for AI chatbots. However, this one, send owner an email, is probably fairly safe. So I'm going to install this guy, at which point what you see is happening. It's actually trying to create a new training snippet. It still hasn't created a training snippet, but it's going to try to create one. Now I can prompt engineer these training snippet any ways I wish. For instance, let's say I want to have a static subject. The subject is always contact request from magic documentation. Do not ask the user for a subject. Besides from this, you can see a little bugger down here, which is basically a function declaration. So when I click save now, what happens is that it's actually creating a new training snippet to me here. As you can see here, I have a new row, edit, here's the training snippet, at which point I have to vectorize it because it's not vectorized, it's yellow here. So now if I go back to types here, I click vectorize, we'll see I have one training snippet that needs vectorization. If I now close this window, I open up another tab, I go to docs.ineedle.io, and I click the Ask Me Anything button, and I write to it, send the owner an email, then hopefully this is going to work. To send an email to the owner, I need the following details from you. Reply to name, reply to email address, body of email can be marked down. Please provide the details so I can proceed. Okay, Thomas at gaiasol.com, and body is, hello there, this is a contact request from your documentation website. I'm really interested in this stuff. And watch carefully now. Ta-da! You see what happened now was that this thing here was sent to OpenAI together with the entirety of the session, which includes here, further up here, the declaration of my function, which is really just a reference to a Hyperlambda workflow. Then OpenAI returns a function invocation, and then the cloudlet interprets that as a function invocation. It invokes the send owner email workflow, and then afterwards it verifies whether or not it is a success or not, and you can chain multiple function invocations together. Now if I check my email now, I actually have a new email that says hello there, this is, and I can actually verify that by opening up my Gmail account, at which point I'm going to have to blur the screen. You know what, I'm not going to do it. Believe me, I have an email. And you can even chain multiple function invocations. Let me show you how that works. If I now go to training data and I choose type, I choose magic documentation, I add a function, and then I install the list function, right? And then I click save here, click close, I go back to types, I vectorize my type, vectorize. And now let me just start a new session to make sure that I don't have anything from my previous session bothering me. Then I write list all functions. Then send the owner an email. Send it from Thomas at gaiasol.com, Thomas Hansen, and use create a body being a summary of all functions and what you believe that these functions are actually doing. And it didn't work for some reason. So let me see why. List all functions. Send an email to list all functions. This workflow lists all functions for the specified type. Should always be AI Niro documentation. Do not ask the user for a type. Let's try again. Save. Let's close this guy. Go to docs again. Ask it again. List all functions, then send the owner an email. Send it from thomas@guysell.com, Hansen, and create a body being a summary of all functions and what you believe that these functions are actually doing. Let's try again. Now it's listing all functions. I need documentation. This is totally magic documentation. God damn it. This is not my day, is it? Type should always be... There we go. Now let's try again. docs.iniro.io. Now you see it lists all functions in this particular type. Now it is trying to send an email to the owner of the cloudlet. The owner, of course, being me. At this point, I simply have to show you my emails. I'm going to have to blur the screen for a while here. Blurring my screen, blurring my screen, blurring my screen. And here you can see I was given an email. So basically what happened here now, you see first it's listing all functions. Then it's taking the result of that invocation and transmitting to OpenAI. Because at this point it needs to execute an additional function. Then OpenAI constructs a summary of all the function invocations and returns a send owner email invocation back to the cloudlet. The cloudlet interprets that as a declaration of a Hyperlambda workflow, which it then invokes for them to send me an email. And at the end of this whole process, I end up with this. That's pretty kick-ass. Basically, what you're looking at here now is the same abilities that you have in a custom GPT, except of course you can have 30,000 functions instead of 30 as you can with a custom GPT. And that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.